Today I'm unboxing the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Ooh, it's so shiny. Hey, I'm Alejandro Alba and today I'm going to review the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. This phone is what people call a phablet, a phone with a screen almost the size of a tablet, but the word makes me cringe, so I won't be using it. Anyway, the new Note 10 Plus at first sight looks beautiful in the new Aura Glow color. But in this review, I'll not only be looking at the exterior, but what's inside. So let's find out if this large screen phone is the right one for you and if having a stylus is worth it. This S Pen sports a new gyroscope and accelerometer, allowing you to control the phone, which can make you feel a little bit like Harry Potter. At the end of the day, most of them feel like gimmicks that I wouldn't be using a month after I got the phone. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and try other features with this pen, including taking photos. Let's see, I'm gonna change modes. Oh, I'm gonna flip the camera right now. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so it takes a little while to understand what's going on, but right now I'm on live focus video. I could change the features within, I'm on hyperlapse now, live focus, let's see, regular video, photo. Okay, so this is the one to really try out because, to be honest, this is the most practical feature from the S Pen. So if you're trying to get a group shot or if you're on vacation solo, you could take your own pictures with this. All right, so when it comes to the S Pen, it's kind of nice that it works as a remote control shutter for when you're taking group shots or you're traveling solo. You could just set up your phone a few feet away, take the pen with you, and very discreetly, hold it and take a photo. The thing though is that all the other features like zooming in, zooming out, switching between camera, live focus, video recording, night mode, that is not as smooth as I thought it would be. Also, you kind of have to make weird gestures that do make you look like a wizard. This is basically just a remote control shutter button, which is pretty cool. What I do is I have an iPhone, so I use my Apple Watch to remote control my camera and take group shots. But I think this is just easier. One place I did find the pen to be extremely useful though was video editing. The Note 10 Plus has a built-in video editor, which Samsung already had before Apple. And it's easier to splice clips with the stylus than your chunkier fingers. Overall, the pen is not practical to me, and I don't see myself really saying, oh, I need this in my life. But it's still cool how the pen just slides into the phone though. Although it kind of reminds me of a Palm Pilot. It's like a Palm Pilot. I remember when I was little, I had a Palm Pilot. It didn't work. I would just pretend like I was a businessman. I wanted to be an adult so bad. And now that I'm an adult, I don't want to go to meetings or send emails. Although I'm sure many of you would prefer a headphone jack, but guess what? The Note 10 Plus is yet another phone without it. Okay, there's no headphone jack, which I'm sure there has to be like a dongle or headphones. Okay, it comes with some AKG headphones, which are pretty good headphones. Now it's become a trend more and more that phone makers are removing headphone jacks from their smartphones. I personally don't mind it since I love using wireless headphones. They're just easier to deal with. But then again, they do die on me in most inconvenient times, like in meetings with my boss. So I do understand why people are upset when they learn that their new favorite phone doesn't have a headphone jack anymore. So you get some pretty good headphones right out of the box, but I don't see a dongle. And if there's no dongle, there's no dongle. Samsung said they removed the headphone jack to make more space for battery, which is something consumers keep asking for. The Note 10 Plus has 3 cameras in the back, one 12 megapixel main lens, another 12 megapixel telephoto lens, and a third 16 megapixel ultra-wide lens, which again, it's something Samsung offered way before Apple. Then there's the 10 megapixel front-facing camera for selfies, which looks like a hole punch at the top of your screen. And they're all great cameras. Also, look at the beautiful focus on this camera. So this is like perfect for vlogging. If you're a vlogger, I mean, you could record and edit on the same phone. So look at how automatically my background is blurred. I do think this is beautiful. Of course, these cameras are not meant to replace high-end point-and-shoot cameras yet, but they are way more camera than most consumers need. Okay, this phone, first glance, beautiful, too big. The Note 10 Plus has a 6.8-inch Dynamic AMOLED display. And what's AMOLED? All you really need to know is that it shows off bright, sharp, and vibrant visuals. But it's honestly too big to properly handle. Alright, so this isn't necessarily a flaw, but I just want you to see something. This phone is too big that it doesn't fit in my front jean pocket. I have to put it on my back, and even then, it still sticks out. So that's just how big this phone is. Again, this is not a flaw. This is just a preference. Some people like big phones with big screens and, you know, especially something that has a stylus so you could go ahead and write on. I don't think it's practical, and if a phone isn't practical, then what do I want it for? And if it doesn't fit in my pocket, I don't want to carry it. The Note 10 Plus has a Gorilla Glass 6 back, which is great for durability, but it's a fingerprint magnet, and if you don't have a case on it, it will scratch easily. Alright, so my time with the Note 10 Plus is coming to an end, and before I conclude, I must say that this phone completely took me by surprise. I was very against it at the beginning because it was too big for me. And by the end, I completely had a change of heart because I see all the benefits to having a larger display, including video playback, taking notes, also just having a bigger view when you're recording. Deciding to buy the Note 10 Plus comes down to two things. One, are you a fan of big phones? And two, do you want the S Pen? If the answer to both of those questions is yes, then get the Note 10 Plus. But no, it's expensive. The Note 10 Plus starts at $1,100 and comes with 256 gigabytes of storage memory, but you can either pay $100 more to upgrade to 512 gigabytes, or just buy a microSD memory card to expand the storage. If you don't want to spend that much money, then I'd recommend just getting the 6.3-inch Note 10. You'll still get the S Pen, but you would have to sacrifice the 0.5 centimeters in display and expandable memory. But it's cheaper, starting at $949 for 256 gigabytes. Also, a few other specs that might convince you to purchase this phone are it's water resistant, it has expandable memory, and the battery life is so good. During heavy use, I think it lasted me around 10.5 hours. And then the other time where I wasn't really using it as much, and I wasn't really making calls or listening to music or playing video games, it lasted me up to 36 hours, which is crazy. However, if you really want everything Samsung has to offer, but the stylus has no appeal to you, then you should just go for the 6.1-inch Galaxy S10, which starts at $899. It has most of the great features the Note 10 has, but it's not as expensive. Now, if you don't want anything to do with Samsung because you're scared of it blowing up, although that is not a thing anymore, or because you heard that the S10 was having issues with the finger scan, apparently anyone could unlock the finger scan, do not worry about any of that because there hasn't been any issues reported with the Note 10 Plus. So I think we're good with this phone. If you want the biggest, most beautiful phone with expandable memory, great cameras, and a stylus, the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus is the phone for you. Wait, this is a full-on rainbow mirror.